It's almost time for the bullet train, so I have to go. Please take care of the house while I'm away. I don't want to come back to a house full of garbage.
I know. I'll be sure to clean the house. When you and the baby come home, it'll be good enough for you to get some rest.
I'll be counting on that.
Yeah, leave it to me. So, good luck with the baby, Linda. And tell your parents I said hi.
Yeah, okay. I'll be in touch. Hey, Linda. Where are you now, and what are you doing? I can't believe you are napping at home and not attending your father-in-law's funeral. I cannot believe you can be in such a mood. What? I'm not asking you to help with the funeral, but you should at least show up at your husband's father's funeral. Wait a minute. What do you mean, funeral? Don't act like you don't know. You knew everything, and yet you didn't even show up to mourn. After you got my father to pay for your wedding and your new house, it's beyond insane that you wouldn't attend his funeral. I haven't heard anything about it. Huh? Don't be silly and just show up. How can you not have heard something as important as this? I really haven't heard anything. Please, calm down and listen to what I have to say. I don't know anything about your father's death. Besides, I'm back at my parents' house now, so I can't go there any sooner even if I wanted to. You're back in your hometown? Yes, I'm back to give birth in my hometown. I've been here for a week now. But Dan never mentioned anything about his father. When did he die? How long had he been sick? I really haven't heard a thing. Wait a minute, I can't wrap my head around this. You're giving birth back home. That means you're pregnant, right? You haven't heard anything from Dan? I haven't heard anything about that. If you're back home, that means your belly is already pretty big, right? Yes, the baby is due next month. What? Dan only told me you were supposed to be home napping, but you're actually at your parents' house and you're having a baby? I'm sorry. I don't really fully understand what's going on either. Anyway, I'm going to pay a visit to your father's grave as soon as I get back. I'm sorry I missed the funeral without even notifying you. Come on, pick up the phone. Stop running around and explain to me what's going on.
Calm down, Linda. I can't pick up the phone when you're so angry.
I have every right to be angry. I wasn't told anything about your father's death. If I had known, I would have sent out a condolence message.
I didn't say anything out of concern for you. My father collapsed just before you went back to your parents' house. I didn't want to say anything because I thought it would worry you.
But at least you should have told me he passed away.
That's my way of showing my concern. I thought it was bad luck to tell such a thing to a pregnant woman before the birth. That's why I couldn't say anything about the funeral.
So you think it's also out of concern that you didn't tell everyone about our baby? Lauren didn't even know I was back in my hometown. In fact, she says she didn't even know I was pregnant.
That's because, you know, my sister Lauren is already in her 40s, but still single. No boyfriend, no marriage, no possibility of having kids. How can I tell my sister that my wife is pregnant? That's why I haven't told anyone on my side of the family yet.
Don't you understand that that's disrespectful to Lauren? And so is your concern for me. Because of you, Dan, they thought I was insane. I'm sure Lauren isn't the only one who's upset. I'm sure all the relatives who attended the funeral thought I was an insane wife.
I'm sorry. I'll make things right with everyone when things settle down. And then you can take your beautiful baby and go visit Dad's grave.
I'll do that without you telling me. So, is there anything else you want to apologize?
Huh?
There's more, isn't there? Will you just tell me everything now?
Oh, come on. There's nothing else to apologize for.
The wedding and the new house we just built last year. I heard that you got help from your father. Lauren blamed me. She said, "Why didn't you go to his funeral after having him pay so much money for you?" I was surprised about the funeral, but I was also surprised to hear about that. I didn't know anything about that kind of support.
Oh no, it's not like that, Linda.
Can you explain to me right now what's different? My parents rather helped us with the wedding and the new house, didn't they? And then you said to me, "I'm sorry, we didn't get any support from our family."
I'm sorry. Actually, my father did provide some support, but I spent it on my own stuff.
I beg your pardon?
I know it's an excuse, but I didn't mean to spend it all. I just wanted to use a little bit of it for my hobbies and stuff, but then it turned out that I spent it all.
That's no excuse. What exactly did you spend the money on? How much did you receive and how much did you spend?
I think I got about $10,000 for the wedding. But the truth is, I bought the engagement ring using a revolving credit plan, so I used the money to pay off that debt.
No way! That engagement ring was paid off with a revolving loan?
And maybe $30,000 for the new house. But there were so many things I wanted, like a new fishing rod and parts for my motorcycle. My allowance wasn't enough, so I had to use that money.
I can't believe all of your doings, and I can't trust you with anything. Dan, I'm sorry to spring this on you so suddenly, but I want you to divorce me.
Huh? Divorce?
I can't be around someone who has hidden debts and spends a huge amount of money selfishly without even discussing it with me. It's impossible to raise a child with someone like that.
What do you mean impossible? Getting divorced before the baby is born is more impossible.
Up until now, you've been able to manage your debts and your needs. But that's because you're lucky to have your father's money. But what would you have done if you had none of that lucky support? I can't live with someone so unpredictable as you.
What the hell does that mean? Are you saying that I would have gone into debt behind your back? I would never do such a thing. I wouldn't do such an irresponsible thing, especially when I'm about to have a baby.
I want to believe you, but I just can't right now.
Don't be so cold. I'm sorry for all the things I kept from you. I'm sorry I spent all of my dad's money on my own. Oh, or is it that? Linda, are you sulking that I kept the money all to myself?
Huh? Sulking?
That's why you're so angry. You're probably jealous because I spent all the money from my dad all by myself. But if that's the case, I have an idea. In return for everything I've done so far, I'll give you my dad's inheritance to you, Linda.
Huh?
My dad was a hard worker, you know. I think he left a good amount of inheritance. He's always been sweet to me, and plus I'm the eldest son. I'm sure I'll get more than my sister, so I'll give it all to you. I'll probably receive 30,000 or even more, So we'll call it even.
Even? You don't think I'm going to let you get away with this, do you?
I'm sorry I used up my father's money without asking. So don't tell me you're getting a divorce. I'll give you all of my inheritance once you come back from your hometown. I'm the eldest, so I should get more than my sister. You can count on it.
I'm sorry. The whole inheritance is mine. I didn't realize that all of Dad's support was lost to my foolish brother's extravagance. I'm ashamed of myself for blaming Linda for not knowing all this.
Are you Lauren by any chance?
Yeah, I'm your sister in her 40s and still single. I don't even have a boyfriend, so I'm a sister who's miserably causing worry to my brother. But I have more life experience than you, so I'll give you some advice. Dan, you need to divorce Linda right now. A guy like you deserves to be abandoned by his wife.
Wait a minute. Why are you with Linda? Linda is back at her parents' place.
I know that. That's why I'm visiting her parents' house.
What?
Dad's will required me to come here. I wanted to hear from Linda directly. I left for Linda's hometown right after yesterday's funeral. I thought it would be better to do it as soon as possible.
Dad's will? You didn't tell me there was such a thing.
I didn't need to. The will was written to me.
What?
He asked me to have his ashes scattered at an island near Linda's hometown. There's this small island our dad loved so much that he visited once a year. What he wrote in his will is, Dan has been very spoiled, so that's partly why I can't trust him. Could you, Lauren, handle these important matters? I can only trust you to do such things. So, I immediately flew over here for the procedure.
What?
And while I am here, I thought I should stop by Linda's place. Then you contacted her at the right moment. I sat next to her and read the whole thing. Why don't you just give her a divorce already?
I don't want to do that. I don't want to get divorced just when we're about to have a baby. You said earlier that I wouldn't get my inheritance. What the hell does that mean?
As a matter of fact, that was also written in the will addressed to me. He said, I want to leave Lauren at least the inheritance after all the money I've given to Dan. Your father gave you a lot of money. He paid for your wedding, the down payment on the new house, and even bought you a car when you went to college. And whenever you needed something, you always begged your father to buy it for you. He wrote in his will that I should deduct that amount from your share of the inheritance.
Are you kidding me?
As a result, you will receive nothing. It's exactly equal if I get all of it.
So you're receiving the entire inheritance for yourself?
Dad, he's so sincere, isn't he? He spoiled you because you're the eldest son, but he also thinks about me, his daughter. That's why I didn't grow up to be a mess, and I've been able to live an upright life.
That's a lie. It can't be true. No way I won't be getting any of my father's inheritance. How could my father not leave me anything?
Don't get it wrong. Your father tried to leave you things too, but it's more a result of your spoiled life.
That may be true, but why didn't he say so from the beginning? That instead of supporting us, he'd reduce my share of the inheritance. It's not fair to do this after the fact kind of stuff.
How can you say that when you keep bringing things up after the fact? You didn't even tell me about Linda's pregnancy. You didn't tell her about the debt, the support money, the funeral, or anything. Now, you know how hard it is and how unreasonable it is for the one who's being told things afterwards.
It's that...
I'll say it again. You should divorce Linda immediately. Don't try to hold her back with an inheritance you won't get.
I'm really sorry about what happened. I've been thinking about it over and over again, and I regret it. I've been thinking, You can cut off my allowance for everything my father has given me. So please, please don't tell me you'll divorce me.
Thank you for your remorse, Dan. But I'm sorry. I really can't handle you. I can't trust people who hide things from me for the rest of my life.
I won't hide things from you anymore. I'll live my life so that you'll be able to trust me from now on. I won't borrow money or spend the money that was given to me without permission. I swear I'll never do anything selfish again.
You really promise?
Of course, I swear. I'll swear to my Father in heaven that I'll never hurt you again. So please reconsider the divorce. I love you, Linda, and our baby girl.
I can't believe you would say that. But are you sure? If you go that far, I think that coworker you're dating might get depressed and cry.
What?
That's what you're swearing to your Father in heaven. Are you sure that's a wise thing to say? If that's the case, you'll never be able to visit your father's grave again, Dan.
Wait a minute. Did you just say I'm dating someone?
I said you're dating your coworker. Maria, your coworker who works at the same company. You've been together for about a year.
Wait a minute. How do you know about her?
Lauren went out of her way to contact me, saying there's a strange woman sleeping in our house and asked me what she should do about it.
What? My sister?
Lauren acts so fast, doesn't she? After seeing me yesterday, she went right back there. She said if you're getting a divorce, I'll go get your stuff. She went to her house to pack up my belongings for me.
Oh.
And somehow a strange woman was sleeping in our house. I asked Lauren to question her. Lauren woke her up immediately, so she got answers out of her for me.
No kidding. What the hell? It can't be. I've been able to hide it so well, and there was no sign of you finding out.
Huh? What's impossible is what's going on in your head. While your wife is out of town to give birth, what the hell are you thinking letting a cheater stay at her house?
No. It's just a coincidence that she ended up staying here. She got a hangover from accompanying me when I was drinking in desperation last night. So I had no choice but to let her stay at my place and rest.
Oh, you're very kind to other women, aren't you? Well, if you're so nice to other women, why don't you start being nice to me, your wife? She's begging for a divorce. I'd like you to show some kindness and sign the divorce papers as soon as possible.
Oh, no.
I'm going to ask for a property division, child support, and also alimony. You'd better be prepared, since you've been doing as you please for a long time. After that, thanks to Lauren, I was able to get the evidence and testimony of the affair. Also, I was able to get alimony from both sides. Last month, the divorce was finalized. I also got a lump sum child support payment. The affair was revealed to the company and they both resigned. I heard that they broke up soon after that. Dan lost his job and money and tried to return to his parents' house in a panic. Lauren had already sold the family home after she inherited it. He is now living in a cheap apartment and looking for a new job. By the way, after Lauren disposed of her parents' house, she moved to the island which her father loved, using the money she inherited from her father. She enjoys slow life and sometimes visits me and my newborn child. We still have a good relationship.
Hannah, you were out of the hospital today.
Yes. I'm just getting ready.
I'm working so I can't pick you up. You can go home by yourself, right?
Mom will pick me up. She told me to come straight home.
Oh, what? I didn't hear anything about that.
I just got the call. Mom and Dad are mad at you about the burns. They said the scars on my face will last forever, so...
Don't feel bad about that. I didn't do it on purpose.
I know that.
Right? It's your fault that's sitting in the wrong place in the first place.
You blame me?
You're the one who sat with your legs out while people were carrying pots and pans. It's disturbing, isn't it?
I was just sitting there as usual. It's not like I was in a weird place. I think Leo was carrying it while watching TV and tripped over it.
No. It was because you were in the way. I mean, your relatives annoy me. Your relatives annoy me.
Annoying? Why?
They want me to divorce you. Your father even grabbed me. Isn't that a crime? Why am I getting blamed for this?
My parents told me to get a divorce too. They've been telling me for a while.
What? Since when?
Soon after we got married.
Why?
People got worried. After watching our conversation and stuff like that.
Conversation?
People would ask me, "Is your husband always this cold?" They thought I was being treated badly by you. Seems like everyone was thinking of it.
What the hell is that? What did I do?
You're so quick to make fun of me. Not only my relatives, but also my friends.
They're all saying whatever they want.
You call me stupid and useless.
Isn't it true? You're a defective woman who can't even do decent housework. So you were joining them and saying bad things about me behind my back too. I don't understand why I'm being blamed for that.
No matter how good to me, I had no intention of leaving you. But this time, I understand what the parents are saying. Every time I look in the mirror, I feel sad. My relatives say they'd force me to get a divorce.
I see. I don't care if we get a divorce. I don't. If I saw your face right now, I would be turned off.
Turned off?
Because you look like a monster. I'd be scared to death if I saw you at night. And it's just weird to be with you. If I can get a divorce, it's just a good time.
A monster?
I can't live with a woman who looks like that. I wouldn't even want to spend the night with you. If I can't see you as a woman, what's the point of being married to you?
I was burned because of your carelessness. You think it's not your fault that I look like this? But then you dump me without taking any responsibility?
Your relatives want a divorce too. If that's what you want, so be it.
You said it's a good time. You were going to get a divorce even if my family didn't tell you to.
Well, I can't deny that possibility. Your face is so ugly right now.
How dare! How can you say such a terrible thing? What do you think I am?
Well, you're mad at me too, right? Then you don't have to force yourself to stay in the marriage, do you? Let's go our separate ways.
Well, you're already completely willing to separate. Then there's no point in talking anymore.
When you take your stuff, sign the divorce papers while you're at it. It's too much work to mail it. Oh, you'll have to get the divorce papers.
I feel like an idiot. Now I understand what my parents were saying. I don't know why I hung on to someone like you.
Hey, how are you? It's been a while.
What, Leo?
It's been 5 years since then.
What's going on? You haven't contacted me since the divorce. Anything happen?
Well, I haven't talked to you in a while, so I thought I'd give you a call.
Make it quick.
What's with the attitude? I contacted you for the first time in a long time, so you should be happy for more.
Why should I? So, what do you want to talk about?
That's a story that makes you happy.
Happy about what?
I called you because I'm thinking of remarrying you. You're probably still single anyway. How's that sound? Happy?
What do you mean? I thought you didn't like my face. Why are you asking me to remarry now?
Actually, I got an illness. I've got diabetes and all that stuff. I go to the hospital every week.
You've had a rough life. I knew you were gonna get ill someday.
I didn't have a rough life.
You were the type that didn't eat, only drink. And you drink a lot. It's the worst for you, right?
Well, that's alright. I want a wife so bad right now.
What?
I've been with a lot of different women over the past 5 years, but they all ran away. They're all a mess, aren't they?
That's because you don't treat women well.
What's wrong with me?
You have nothing but bad things to say. What do you mean you want a wife when you get ill? You want your wife to take care of you?
It's hard when I'm fighting the illness alone. You know, these are things I want you to buy for me while I'm in the hospital. Besides, there's always personal care and stuff.
You must be mistaking women for housekeepers or something. Marriage partners aren't that convenient. You've been with a lot of people in your life. Why are you telling me this?
You're just perfect for that. And now that I think about it, you have the most guts.
But we're already divorced.
But you can't get married forever anyway.
Forever?
You look like a monster. No man would marry you with a face like that. So I'll take you back for it. I'm so sweet, aren't I?
Why would I remarry you? My parents and relatives won't allow it. They wanted to divorce you for 5 years ago. There's no way they'd let you remarry.
That being said, it's better than being single all the time. If they don't like it, just cut them off.
I don't want to do that.
Why not? I hate your relatives because they annoy me. Cut them off.
They are my dearest relatives. I'm not going to cut them off. And I'm not remarrying you.
Why not? It's not a bad deal for you either. You don't want to be single forever.
I'm a wiser man now. I'm not the same person I was then. I will not remarry you who do not care for me.
I don't know what you're talking about. You're not in a position to choose. If you miss this opportunity, you'll never get married.
I don't want to go back to my old life. I'd rather be single forever than remarry you.
What the hell, man? I'm telling you this in good faith.
How can I remarry someone who calls me a monster? You haven't changed at all since 5 years ago. You think I'm an idiot.
I'm just telling you the truth.
That's what's not good about you.
Don't be so silly. Just get married again. Just come back to me.
I won't.
If you don't do what I say, you'll pay for it. Pay for it. I'll find your house and I'll ambush you. Until you shake your head.
Well,
you remember I've been boxing all my life, right? You're so easy to twist.
Are you threatening me?
I'm telling you to realize what you're up against. Don't turn me down for being a monster. Don't get cocky or I'll kick your ass.
Why you want to remarry so badly? But I can't decide right now. I have to explain this to relatives, so please give me more time.
Okay. I'll call you tomorrow.
Tomorrow? That's too soon. Give me 3 days.
I don't have a choice. I'll call you in 3 days. I'm counting on you. Well, it's been 3 days. Let me hear your answer. You only have one choice, though.
Right. There's only one option. I will not remarry you.
You're still saying that?
That's the only way to think about it, right? I can't conclude that I will remarry you.
You're still single, right? Why don't you grow up and remarry me? There's no one who will take a defective woman with a face like a monster. Or are you going to be single and lonely for the rest of your life?
I have a message for you.
From who? From those annoying relatives?
You don't have to come to work from tomorrow.
What? Where that message comes from?
My husband. I hear you're being fired.
Husband? What do you mean fired?
The executives at your company promised my husband that they would fire you, so I guess you could just say your boss gave me a message.
Wait a minute. Husband? My company? What the hell have you been saying all this time?
I never said I was single, did I? That I could never remarry? It's just your imagination.
What's my imagination? There's no way a woman like you can get married. Do you understand what you were talking about?
Unfortunately, I already married again 3 years ago. He was a student of my father's when he was a professor.
No way.
I was surprised too. 3 days ago, I told my husband about your threats. He was so furious he did some research to sue you. And it turns out you're an employee of one of our clients.
You've got to be kidding me. That's a big client. I can think of a few companies off the top of my head. I don't know anything about the CEO.
We know everything now. So my husband told your company. The people at your company were in panic. If my husband cancels a contract with your company, that's a big problem, right?
That would probably be bad.
I heard it would cost tens of millions of dollars in damages. Well, I'm sure they will be in a panic. If it goes wrong, the company falls apart.
I didn't threaten anyone. To sue me is going too far.
You said if I didn't remarry, you'd kick my ass. That's a fine threat. I filed a damage report.
You're overreacting. We're an ex-couple. If I say something that goes a little too far, let it go.
What's up with being an ex-husband and wife? I have a very painful past. I've suffered a lot because of you. This threat is not to be ignored this time. This burn on my face is your fault.
You didn't do it on purpose.
Because of your carelessness. And you called me a monster. Isn't that an insult or slander? My husband says he'll never forgive you, but says he'll beat the shit out of you.
But that doesn't mean he won't file a damage report and tell the company. That's a bit much.
I think your company would be happy to get rid of you rather than break the relationship with my husband's company. Threaten the wife of the CEO of an important business partner. That means it's an act that's very detrimental to the company's interests. Isn't that reason enough to fire you?
Wait a minute. I've been getting a lot of calls from the company. Seriously?
Yeah, right? They're serious.
I don't know what's going to happen to my life. I don't want to be unemployed or have an ex-conviction record.
If you want me to drop the claim, you'll have to settle the case. I won't drop the claim until you pay me the fee I'm demanding. You don't have a choice. I heard you've officially been fired. So the company cut you off after all. I knew it.
Thanks to you, I'm unemployed. What am I going to do now? I'm fighting an illness, so it's hard to find a job. Who would hire a person with a serious illness on a full-time basis?
You'll just have to do your best to find out.
You said it's just like it's somebody else's problem. Well, it's none of your business.
My husband won't hold your company responsible any longer. It's your fault, not theirs. But he won't drop the case against you personally.
I've been fired, so I have had enough payback.
I also have a burn mark against you. This can't possibly be enough.
Are you really that Hannah? You've changed completely. She used to be so quiet and gentle.
Since I remarried my husband, I've changed. I've become more confident in myself. I can express my feelings better now than when I was with you.
Hannah, I'm sorry. My attitude was wrong.
Are you finally going to apologize? It's too late for an apology.
I'm really sorry. I'm sorry I forced you to remarry. But I was ill and I couldn't have enough room either. You need to understand that.
Using illness as an excuse?
In fact, my illness is serious. I'm treating, but instead of getting better, it's getting worse and worse. It's more painful than anything else. I lost my mind and I just made a heartless comment.
This isn't the first time that you've made heartless comments. Even before you got ill, you were a terrible person. The only reason you are the worst person is that your nature is corrupt, and not because of the illness.
Was I that bad?
You never understand it anyway. You don't really feel sorry for what you did. You just want me to drop the lawsuit.
That's not true.
As your ex-wife, I understand your character. You will never be rehabilitated. The real monster is you, with your ugly heart. My ex-husband paid $20,000 in alimony and we settled. He has been laid off from the company and flat broke. He can't work long hours because his illness is getting worse and worse. And because of that, he can't seem to find a job. A year after the divorce, I heard a rumor that her ex-husband has been told his life expectancy is limited. Now that time has passed, I don't know if he's alive or dead. But I don't think I want to know. My husband and I still get along with each other. When I'm with him, I don't care about the scars on my face. I have found true love.